check. 0-1 just kind of shoulders the 10 car of Scott Riggs out of the way.
And they're teammates, aren't they?
Yeah, they used to be.
Jeremy Mayfield, Scott Riggs, and Kurt Busch did not stop. Ryan Newman only took 2 tires on his pit stop.
And we see the 17 car, Matt Kenseth, going by Ryan Newman, and Biffle trying to follow.
Biffle wants to stay behind Kenseth, because if Kenseth gets the lead and Biffle's in second, Biffle wants some bonus points. He's got a teammate up there that may let him do it.
And they've been talking back and forth, right. 16 and 17.
They've got to pass all these guys to get to the front. That 17 car is just good. That thing is stuck to the bottom of the racetrack.
So Mayfield won last week with fuel strategy, then uses pit strategy here to stay out and lead at Bristol. Marty?
Trouble in 1 and 2.
The 95 car, Stanton Barrett around.
Caution flag is out.
Rusty Wallace had something to do with that one.
You think?
Well, let's take a look.
Here you see Rusty right behind the 95. Stanton just wasn't accelerating fast enough.
For Rusty.
Yeah, Stanton Barrett 3 laps down. On board with Carl Edwards. Under caution at Bristol.
In 2006, the Ford Fusion will make its debut in the Daytona 500, and earlier this week in Miami, the Ford Fusion was unveiled as the official pace car of Ford Championship Weekend. Of course, Kurt Busch participated in that and won the championship last year at the Homestead Miami Speedway. This year, the Fusion will pace the field as the contenders try to get the green flag, and eventually, of course, the 2005 Nextel Cup Championship, and the Ford Fusion will lead the way.
Thank you, Marty. And they're coming to get the green flag here at Bristol, and this is going to be exciting. Mayfield leads, and a lot of traffic on the inside.
Come on.
Oh, we got a little bit of a problem here. It looks like Sprigg, that 10 car, didn't get a good start.
Nope.
And we see that Mike Lawson, the 4 car, and the 77 of 12 will already have gotten by the leader, Jeremy Mayfield.
And don't forget the 10 car having transmission problems, and he's gonna have bumper problems too here in a second. People keep running into it. I don't think I'd want to be up there if my car wasn't staying in 4th gear.
Trying to hold it in gear with one hand and drive with the other.
Unless he figured out how to get it bungeed.
Or bungeed.
Marty?
I asked Rodney Childers if he had a way to figure out how to get it bungeed in there, and he said, sort of. It takes him a while to do it, and he has to do it under green. I cannot imagine Wally and Benny having to shift gears, come up to the restart, and then kind of bungee your gear shift into place so you can keep it in 4th gear.
Yeah, because you have to do it under green, because that's when you're in 4th gear.
Right, at Bristol.
Good luck.
I think he's still trying to do it.
Kurt Busch around him.
Kurt Busch goes into the 3rd spot.
Remember, Riggs did not pit, along with Mayfield and Busch during the last pit sequence. I'll remind you that the ticker at the top of the screen, the drivers that are green are currently in the top 10. The drivers in yellow are on the bubble, and the drivers in red are locked out.
Kenseth 17 back in front as he goes by the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield.
Matt has led 182 of the 230 laps completed. That's a good race car, that 17 of Matt Kenseth tonight. Jamie McMurray has worked his way back into the top 10 in the championship standings.
We see Jeff Gordon just 28 points. Matt Kenseth just 35 points behind the 42 car of McMurray.
But we've still got more than half of this race to go. Greg Biffle under Ryan Newman. Newman took 2 tires on his last pit stop.
Trying to get that ever important track position, trying to get up front with these fast cars.
Newman a winner here last night in the Busch Series race. Biffle was one of the guys he held off.
like 2 tires is working better for him than it did Jimmy Johnson earlier anyway. Newman's able to stay ahead of Jeff Gordon for now.
Gordon runs in the 6th position. Then it's Elliott Sadler, Ricky Rudd, Jimmy Johnson, and Scott Riggs falling backwards. 232 laps. Check that, 236 laps are completed. When we come back to Bristol, we will take you through the field. TNT Sports live at the Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee. 240 laps are complete in the Sharpie 500. Under caution. Contact on the racetrack between Travis Cromwell and Mike Wallace.
2 cars that were really trying to stay in front of the leader, Matt Kenseth, to get their lap back. And Waffle tried his best not to spin out Mike Wallace and spun out himself.
This actually started a lot earlier. We're only getting the end of it, but these guys were kind of leaning on each other pretty hard going down the backstretch into turn 3. And we kind of saw it coming, didn't we, Weber?
Yeah, we were watching that. They were coming out of 2, and they were patiently aggressive until they got to 3. On board with Jeff Burton in the Singular Chevrolet. Here's our Singular Race Talk poll. And the results, not surprising. Is that the way you thought it would go?
Absolutely.
Bristol 59%. Remember, you can still text RACE to 191 for a chance to win $1,031,000.
Bristol got more votes than the other 3 combined.
Yep.
Justifiably.
This is an amazing place. 160,000 seats. They got suites all around it now. It is a tough ticket to get.
Mike Wallace in the 4 car was in front of the leader. He got his lap back, but unfortunately, he's still got to be on pit road as the green flag is waved. He now goes another lap down.
Scott Wimmer was the lucky dog. So he's back on the lead lap.
Now we got Jeff Gordon's back there. Elliott Sadler got some really good cars. Kind of back there a little bit in traffic. We're going to have to be real careful right here. Picking their way through. Ricky Rudd. He's been good all night.
Currently shown in the 8th position. Johnson in 9th.
Sterling Marlin in that 40 car, the Coors Light machine, is 2 laps down.
And off the pace.
Yes.
He's got a left rear flat, it looks like.
He's going to try and
Yep, his left rear is flat.
find his way to pit road.
Go low, go low. Sir, you got to go all the way around pit road.
Now he can come in. He doesn't have to go
Under
around the
green.
long
That's
way
right.
around.
If he's pitting on the front. Now on the green flag, we've seen all the cars on these caution flags go in turn 2 and come off the racetrack in turn 1. Green flag, Sterling can go in here. As soon as they've completed their pit stop, he can go back straight to the racetrack. He doesn't have to go down the front straightaway, the front pits.
There are 2 different procedures for pitting.
One for the caution, one for the green
Exactly
flag.
right. Been a tough night for Sterling Marlin in his home state of Tennessee. Kenseth leads. There's Kurt Busch and Greg Biffle. And the 5 car of Kyle Busch, 52 laps down. But he's got a new radiator.
But he won't have many friends.
No.
Because if you're up there racing these guys that are racing for position and you're 50 laps down, these guys are not going to have much patience for you.
And now he's side by side with his brother. And Kurt falls in behind Kyle. Kurt running in the 4th position. But his car does not look as good as it was earlier in the race. On board with Kurt Busch. How about the 97, Dave Burns?
During that caution, there was some radio chatter between them. Kurt says to his crew, we're hanging in there okay, but we need to make the car better. It was better last time. Let's talk about some adjustments for next time to help this car turn even better. They're working on it. They got their track position, and now they just need to make it a little faster.
Kurt, one of the drivers penalized earlier in the race for too fast entering pit road. Used pit strategy to stay out and try and get back up front, get track position. Rusty Wallace was another guilty party. He currently runs 20th.
Sadler being patient. Had a couple cars in front of him side by side. He let that get settled down and picked his way through.
Ricky Rudd in the 21 inside of Jeff Gordon.
And goes by Gordon. Here comes Jimmy Johnson on the inside of his teammate Jeff Gordon.
Elliott Sadler got by him as well. Jeff Gordon hung up on that outside.
I thought Jimmy Johnson's teammate was going to cut him a break down in turn 1. It didn't happen. Oh, he got trouble.
Stanton Barrett coming down the track. Look out, everybody. Able to lock it down. And the caution is out again at Bristol.
And
that looks like it blew up, BP.
Sure does. That's
Motor, looks like the motor.
Look at all the fluid coming out of the pipes.
Water coming out the exhaust pipe.
10th caution of the night.
See, when white steam comes out the exhaust, that means that the engine has gone big time. We have water in the exhaust.
And he probably went down the backstretch. That thing blew. All that water got on his rear tires. And that hurts your traction.
And luckily, he was the only car that spun.
29 cars on the lead lap. We've just passed the halfway mark.
Yep. Exactly what happened.
Look at all those cars coming. The leaders to pit road to Matt Yoakum.
And look for a chassis adjustment on the 6 of Mark Martin. The balance not to his liking, but he said, make sure you give me a drink of water. They were asking for the extra man. They now have it, Marty.
Last week's winner, Jeremy Mayfield at Michigan, has said his car's a little bit on the edge. He's running in second right now, but loose, and I like it. So they made no changes to it. It's a 4-tire stop for the 19 bunch, having a very solid run. This is the caution they wanted, Dave.
4th position no longer belongs to Kurt Busch. They will put a wrench in the rear window, change that track bar just a bit, make my car turn better. Alan.
And the leader, Matt Kenseth, is in. You will see the wrench, actually the track bar adjustment wrench, all in and out of the right side of the car. Going to be a 4-tire change for Matt, and they're going to try and hold on to the lead with a pit stop. Elliott Sadler out first. I think he just got 2.
So pit strategy has been key here. Elliott Sadler wins the race off of pit road. We'll check the tire strategy and what happened to the 24 on their stop.